Well, we're here making impact. This is an opportunity where we're going to continue to grow and make it profitable for ourselves and for our community. And looking forward to being able to use this to, and which is one of the goals of impact, is to create a platform for who we are, right? Pharmacy entrepreneurs, that it's this, it now builds a community that sustains itself and supplying the needs. So want to find out what those needs are and also use our community to help supply the needs across the board from, you and others who are doing the business. How can we serve and circulate our dollars
Yep.
between one another and making sure that those business needs are being serviced, which is part, again, the platform. I think one of the things I like over the years with Impact and the conferences is that almost every topic and every person has been a pharmacist, from the marketing to the photography all the way to the legal side of things. So I'm like, this community can really flourish itself. We're bringing in the experts. We're bringing in the Coach Nic who are going to take us across the board to make sure no matter what we have happen. But I think there is now, seeing year by year, so many people doing things that are non-traditional pharmacy, and we want that platform and that side to be highlighted as well.
I started several businesses. Now, I did them while I was still working with CVS. I had started businesses and learning. But once again, you have only 24 hours in a day. So if you do not, so like I didn't have like necessarily the time to really put into those businesses while I was still working that full-time job. I'm not sure there's a lot of people who can relate to that. Might have something on the side, but they're like, man, I knew if I could put more time into this thing on the side, it could probably be bigger. So you take that risk, you take that chance. And in doing that, I was learning lessons and figuring out. And I tell Coach Nic when I met him, and I tell people, I at the time I met Coach Nic and came to Impact, I was pharmacist, been doing PRISM for a little over a year. Like I just hit my year anniversary with PRISM a couple months prior, so a year and 2 months. Struggling for the money part. Now, really good with the AI part. Really good with the people and the clients that I trained, was making those outcomes, but I wasn't really doing good with the consistency with the revenue because I didn't have the right systems in place. Now I had coached people and did things at the CVS, but putting all the pieces together for your own thing is a different piece. It's just you gotta you get a coach to move faster. So after getting with Coach Nic, I went from a guy who was really good with AI to a guy who was really good with AI and was making at least 5 figures. So like that's a big difference because now you don't have that weight of money. It's a different, people know that is a different type of uncomfortability when you got money uncomfortability. And the thing with pharmacists is and everybody, money situation different, but because of the high salary, a lot of them don't have that feeling because of that we pick professions to where we make a good living. Now you can always spend more than you make, but a lot of us don't feel that. So when you go to entrepreneurship, now it's like, yo, this is the first time I have to actually like worry about money like a very very long time because you're not getting those checks that you used to get all the time, especially if you have been in the game for a little bit, right? Been a pharmacist for like I said, I was with CVS for 18 years, I was a pharmacist for 15. So having the impact, having Coach Nic, having those systems allow me to quickly, it takes forever, quickly get in there and now be able to truly start working on that freedom because now we're actually running a business and not a hobby, right? So that's what I would say because you have to make revenue. If you're going to make impact, if you're going to help these people, they got to pay you. So you got to figure out how to pay you. Like you're not working for free, so you can't help people who don't pay you money. So how do you get them to pay you money? You don't know. Like, because if you knew, then you would be better off. Like you would. So yeah, so that's been my personal journey, and it's been a good one. Now because I have more skills, and the thing I also will say too, I know I'm going on here is
no, go ahead.
I'm the AI guy. So the first thing is like, well, then you ask AI. Yes, I asked AI, and I thought I was doing what it said. But when somebody is an expert, they were like, and they would say that we was on the, like me and Coach Nic was on the things, we looking at the same chat GPT. He's like, that's not what that say. That's what the words say, but that's not what that means, right? Because I didn't quite understand. So, and I tell people all this time, like AI is not taking your job right now, at least. The person who know how to use it, right? That's the thing. So the human part is still important. Coach Nic is great. Coach Nic with AI is dangerously great. Woo-wee, because it augments the abilities. I mean, that's the reason why I was so grateful as well. Is he was so open to use it, so he can so that we can get to the topic part on that too. So yeah, so that's what I will say in general with the entrepreneurship, the impact, and how come you wasn't doing that before with AI? It's just in case anybody had that question. It's just in case anybody had that question.
Well, let's be clear. So just let people know what Prism is in your role
Yeah,
in it, so they can know what your business is, so they can have a
absolutely.
better
So
perspective.
yeah, thanks. So Prism, so I'm Dr. Jeff Bullock, founder and CEO of Prism AI Consultants. Prism stands for positivity, resilience, innovation, service, and mastery. Those are the values that we stand by. And what we do is we help people use AI for practical use case. So you tell us what your goals are, and we tell you the AI way to get there. And people they pay me money for three reasons. Number one, how do I generate revenue? That's the number one. How do I generate revenue? Number two, how do I save time? How do I get time back? And then number three is how do I make my life easier? So our clients save at least 50 hours per month when you know how to use these tools. The tools are out. We got the same ones. You just don't know what you're doing.
Mm.
So you get the workflows, you get the systems set up with you, and now you move fast and you're able to reach your goals in 10 times the speed, right? So it's a transformational time. So that's what Prism is, and that's what we do for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, nonprofits, and Fortune 500 companies.
I got a follow-up question for you. Okay, so because you got people, a lot of times, we're our own worst enemy, right? And we telling ourselves, these negative narratives. One of them is, oh man, it's going to take forever to make money in business. People saying it take years to make profit. You got to do this and that and third. So how long we've been working together, and then how many months did it take for you to get to five figures?
Yeah, so we've been working together since I think October,
Yeah.
and I got there I would say December for sure, January, but I'll say December for sure, January, like because it's the holiday season,
Yeah.
so we go
It
back.
was January. It was January.
Yeah.
It
So
was
yeah,
January.
right, yeah. So that's how long it took me. And before that, I was like very spotty, like it was like $1,500, $3,000, but on
Hold on.
average
Rewind.
fifteen
Hold
hundred.
on. Rewind that, and so people can just hear that there
Yeah,
because
fifteen hundred
I want to hear
dollars
that
was like it was. That's what it was like. That was the average. It
for
was
the month.
you'll have some higher ones like 3,000, but around 1,500. Because the everybody like I did not. There were some significant gaps that allowed that money to go through like sand going through your fingers. Because I didn't know what I didn't know to close it, and Coach Nic helped with that. He was able to see quickly, diagnose what those gaps were, and he helped me close those gaps. Now I will say, it's always a work in progress. Right? So but
Mhm.
it's levels to everything. But the gaps, when you start closing them, right? So they're like you start closing them, you start seeing results. You start achieving outcomes and getting money. So then now you have less anxiety, less fear, less imposter syndrome, because all that stuff is like in your head, right? Like it's a lot of these things that's keeping us from being successful. Is just unprofitable behaviors that is fear based. And when you have a coach or when you have these a community, both of them, you can help break those molds faster, especially when you have somebody who did it before, right? It's different than this social media and Instagram and YouTube. Like that's good to get the knowledge, but when you have somebody who's already done the thing and is saying this is how you do it, this is what happened last month, yesterday, I'm doing this right now, you get there a lot faster.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Skills, and then having someone to see the gaps that you're missing. That's what the thing's about. So like we have this course whereas, you were able to have the one-on-one, but now we have this course where they can have all of these different skill sets from sales, marketing, ops, finances, the basic skills, but then also like the gap management system where you can identify, connect results to behaviors to psyche. Now, a lot of these folks, this particular course is for the startups and the part-time entrepreneurs. So we're like, how does it apply? Well, because you want to be prepared before you start the business. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeff, now you did have maybe a couple of businesses before you started with PRISM, right? Any want to kind of share like the outcomes of
Yeah,
those
so
businesses?
so the first business is real estate is what I got into. So learned a lot of lessons there, and I had got up to 11 units. So that was and then I left. I sold those units to buy trucks. That was that was a loss. That was a loss. To be very clear on that one. But a gain of knowledge, right? But a loss of money and time. That one just didn't work out. And then from there, I went into consulting for mom and pop pharmacies and transportation because I knew what not to do. And then AI. And the reason why I shifted to the AI was because I saw that it was clearly the world was different now. So learned about it and started doing that and took the lessons from the previous businesses into this one. So that's kind of what the history was with there. But the real estate one was good, but that's a different type of business. And now the PRISM, which is the AI business, and I have a virtual assistant business now. Both of those ones are doing well.
And so before you go, Jeff, did you want to say a few things or ask a few questions of Jeff before he jumps off?
Yeah, right before you jump off, I mean, one thing that I'm hearing consistently is it's like once you know the tools, once you know the format, you're now just replicating the entrepreneurship in other ways. Because, you went from saying not only the money, but from 1 or 2 streams of income to now, I think you only list about 5 different.
Yeah, it's definitely multiple for sure. And
multiple.
From what you're saying there, like it's absolute like so sales, marketing, operations, finance, right? So those are like the parts of business. The part that I was struggling significantly with was the sales part, right? Because I have a lot of energy, because I had, some people say I'm charismatic. You're like, oh man, you kill it when it sales. No, I get really, really excited about the AI, right? so we talk about AI to the end of it, like, oh, it's time to get off. That's not money, right? So that was just like one of the things that I had to learn. And once I learned that, it significantly, increased my revenue game. So that being a piece of the system that was taught to me, and then after I got that, now in the other businesses that I have too, you got to sell, right? So once you have that knowledge, you have that knowledge.
And I just want to add to that, that is a part of what our impact community is about. Because our 2 things you've said that was important is 1, building a legacy for our community and having multiple streams of income and the freedom. So I should say 3. And that's what I really wanted to emphasize that and share, because something you mentioned earlier is like that freedom to do what you want, how you want. I've added another caveat now to in the social and political climate we're in. We can no longer depend on funding our projects and programs because of the cuts in DEI. If we want to see the research, we want to see health disparity, we want to see that, we're going to need to fund it, and we need to be able to be in a position as entrepreneurs to have that flexibility to direct where we want our funds to go. They're directing theirs. We want to be able to direct ours. So got to make it, take care of your business and your fund and being able to grow from that. So I know you have a hard cutoff coming up, but thank you for joining us and being able to share your experience. I'll give it back to Coach and from there, but just wanted to get a couple of points in there. That's great.
So Jeff, before you jump off, if it could be one thing that you would say to maybe encourage folks to take the course that, Impact and Coach Nic DC are offering to this Impact community, what would be that thing?
Are you trying to be are you trying to win? Like are you trying to really win in your business? And if you are, then I would say take this course, because this is what you're going to need to be successful moving forward. We pay for education.